What comes to your mind when you hear the word popcorn? The buttery aroma, the popping sound, or the charm of the movie theatre? लेकिन popcorn is not just our companion for the movies. इसकी story, history is truly movie worthy. And it's not just the story of a snack. Nah. It's a peek into the human psyche itself. Now that we have your interest, grab a tub of popcorn and let the story begin. इस वीडियो में हम जानेंगे क्या है पॉपकॉर्न की हिस्ट्री, हाउ इट इज लिंक्ड टू वर्ल्ड वॉर एंड मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंटली द राइज ऑफ अ वेरी पॉपुलर एंड लव्ड पॉपकॉर्न ब्रांड. तो ये एक हिस्ट्री प्लस केस स्टडी सॉर्ट ऑफ अ वीडियो है. एंड तक देखना, यू वोंट रिग्रेट इट. पॉपकॉर्न एंड मूवीज वर नेवर मेंट टू बी. दैट्स राइट. बट फिर भी आज वो हैप्पीली एवर आफ्टर कपल है. तो शुरू से स्टोरी बताता हूँ. द स्टोरी बिगिंस इन द ईयर 1848 when the act of eating popcorn spread like wildfire and the word popcorn was included in the dictionary of Americanism. It was the most tasty, light and cheap snack. Portable popcorn machines could be found at all major public attractions. Fairs ho, fests ho, carnivals ho, you name it. However, there was one place of entertainment from where they remained notoriously absent. Guess what? The movie theaters. Yes. It was a time when movie theaters wanted to be like the most hip and posh thing in town. After all, cinema was a new concept and had to beat the other forms of entertainment to be successful. And so, to replicate the pomp and show of live theater, popcorn had to go. And more importantly, उस time पे movies भी तो silent थी. Imagine the chomping and munching noise that popcorn would create while watching a silent movie. Ew. For quite some time, मूवी थिएटर में भी सबटाइटल पढ़ के मूवी देखनी पड़ती थी. साइलेंट मूवीज में इंटरटाइटल्स होते थे. दिस रिस्ट्रिक्टेड द नंबर ऑफ पीपल हु वेंट टू द मूवीज इन इटसेल्फ एंड वाज ओनली फॉर द पॉश एंड द रिच एंड द प्राइम सॉर्ट ऑफ अ क्राउड. बट दिस चेंज्ड इन 1927 when sound was added to movies. Movies now became the most coveted form of entertainment. The popcorn selling vendors quickly understood that the product they had in hand was brilliant. Low-cost raw material and high margins. They now flocked outside the movie theaters, trying to lure large crowds. More and more cinegoers fluttered around the vendors. But the theater owners did not like what was happening. One could imagine their plight. Popcorn was selling faster than movie tickets, and they were unable to get a bite of it. Can't really blame them. Even if they would have wanted to sell popcorns, the theaters were not designed to accommodate a popcorn machine of those times. बहुत ही बड़े-बड़े machine होते थे. And not much later, the Great Depression set in. It meant job losses and dwindling profits for most of the industries. But interestingly enough, not for the movies. Movies were considered an escape from reality and were pretty affordable for the public at large. Seeing popcorn vendors go home with jingling pockets, the theater owners could no longer resist the attraction and finally started selling their own popcorn. As the Great Depression finally started catching up with the movie industry, popcorn kept the theaters afloat. Those who refused to adapt could not survive. You must be wondering, but कि यार only popcorns ही क्यों? Why not other snacks? The answer lies in popcorn's recipe. The salty snack is truly addictive. It releases a hormone called dopamine, which is also released when we consume alcohol or gamble. As the world came to a standstill during the World War II, when some of the biggest countries around the world were warring against each other, the US economy saw a shortage of sugar. Sugar rationing began. One could no longer eat candies and lollipops. This is actually one of the reasons that we found with our deep research that was instrumental in bending the public sentiment towards popcorn. Other snackables required a kitchen and an elaborate setup, which was not feasible in those times. Plus, unlike candies that only lasted a few minutes, popcorn could be savored for an entire movie. Proper paisa vasool. Now, while the popcorn economy flourished, it made sure it was not alone. Popcorn made people thirsty, and so the demand for soda and cola increased. 1900s was a strange era, yaar. The only thing that remained constant was change. Maybe that's true for today as well. When the war ended and normalcy was restored, a new technology emerged, which changed the course of this snack. Television. Entertainment was now available from the comforts of one's home. That was it. The whole business model of popcorn sellers was about to be uprooted. Their survival was in jeopardy, but हमारा हीरो ऐसे ही थोड़ी मार्केट से आउट हो जाएगा। एक और इन्वेंशन हुआ that brought hope and change. In the year 1945, Mr. Percy Spencer was standing in front of a big machine which was emitting radio waves. He noticed that a chocolate bar in his pocket had started melting. Now it is said that curiosity killed a cat, but in our case, curiosity popped up popcorn. Thus, the invention of microwave happened, and microwave and popcorn became synonymous. But Mr. Spencer wouldn't live to see the meteoric rise of his inventions. Both the products required more work to become a commercial hit. And then the popcorn market exploded. By 1986, New York was consuming approximately $250 million worth of popcorn, and 5 brands were leading the trend. But their offerings had real dairy products and had to be refrigerated. Popcorn didn't really gain the kind of traction that it deserved and still had a long way to go until Act 2 emerged. Act 2 was a non-refrigerated, shelf-stable product by Golden Valley Microwave Foods. The company was acquired in 1991 by Conagra Foods Inc. In 1999, it became the largest manufacturer of microwave popcorn in the world. It was in 1997 when Conagra Foods made its grand entry into the Indian subcontinent by acquiring majority stakes in the edible oil company called Agrotech Foods Limited. That's how the household name that we know today, Act 2, actually stormed the unexplored popcorn space in India, and it catered to the large middle class population in the country. The company realized that unlike American houses, microwaves were still finding their place in India. Act 2 was then rebranded and packaged as a pressure cooker friendly popcorn. The Indians welcomed this new product with open arms. And this is how, over the years, popcorn became synonymous with Act 2 in India. As much as Act 2 commands an important position in our hearts, ये एग्रोटेक फूड्स के लिए भी बहुत ज़्यादा इम्पॉर्टेंट है। क्यों? इसके लिए एग्रो फूड्स का रेवेन्यू स्प्लिट समझते हैं। एग्रो फूड्स का मेजॉरिटी रेवेन्यू आज के दिन और मेजॉरिटी ग्रॉस मार्जिन comes from its edible oil business. This concentration of business in one sector can be seen as a big threat to the company. And इस threat को mitigate करने के लिए, manage करने के लिए, diversification strategy becomes really important, which it is trying to do in the food business. And they are trying to evolve their strategy as consumer preferences are changing. How? देखो, you have to wait 3 to 5 minutes for the popcorn to get ready. क्या ये लंबा टाइम नहीं है आज के ज़माने के इंस्टेंट ग्रेटिफिकेशन सीकिंग लोगों के लिए? एंड व्हाट इफ यू वांट टू स्नैक व्हाइल ट्रैवलिंग? Hence Act 2 has introduced its ready to eat popcorn segment. एंड न जाने और कितने सारे ब्रांड्स इंडिया में आ गए हैं जो ये रेडी टू ईट पॉपकॉर्न बना रहे हैं. It has also added nachos, peanut butter, chocolate spread and so much more to cater to these evolving changes in the market. The company also has the arms and ammunition to be able to pull off its grand dream of being among the top food brands in the country. But do you think popcorn still has the charm it had a century ago? Are you eating popcorns today or have you replaced it with मखाना? जी हाँ, इंडिया में बहुत बड़ा मार्केट मखानास का भी है जो कि पॉपकॉर्न को रिप्लेस कर रहा है. तो अब आपको क्या लगता है, अब हम क्या एक एक्ट 3 भी देखेंगे जहाँ पे पॉपकॉर्न की जगह मखाना विल राइस? ज़रूर बताइएगा कमेंट्स में कि आपको पॉपकॉर्न पसंद है ज़्यादा या मखाना पसंद है, एंड कौन से न्यू ब्रांड्स हैं जो आपने ट्राई किए हैं. अगर कोई ऐसा ब्रांड है जिसमें आपको लगता है कि हमें डीप डाइव करना चाहिए तो ज़रूर बताइएगा. वीडियो अच्छा लगा तो शेयर कीजिए, लाइक कीजिए एंड चैनल को प्लीज़ सब्सक्राइब कीजिए. थैंक यू सो मच. जय हिंद.